Several years ago, there was a theater in my town called the Centennial Twin, where they used to take movies that had played in regular theaters and reran them at a discounted price. It was a cheap date. You had to put up with the lines that ran up and down through the movie, but like I said, it was a cheap date. Well, one night I took my wife there to see the movie Stepmom. Starred Susan Sarandon, Julia Roberts, Ed Harris. I didn't know what the movie was about. I knew it wasn't X-rated, but other than that, I didn't know. But we went, and it was about 40 minutes into that movie that I started tearing up. And it's kind of a sad movie, but my tears didn't stop. Folks, they kept coming and coming and coming until I was full body heaving, sobbing. My wife looked over at me and said, "Are you all right?" I lied to her. I said, "Yeah, I'm fine. I was a wreck." And I didn't understand why. Hi, I'm Ron Price, and I'm happy to tell you I did figure out why, and I learned a lesson that I want to share with you today. You see, the movie is about Ed Harris and Susan Sarandon. They're getting divorced. Julia Roberts is about to become the stepmom, but then they find out Susan Sarandon has cancer. She's dying from cancer. So Julia Roberts is not just going to be the stepmom, she's going to be the kid's only mom. And it's a poignant, there's a G in that word somewhere, a poignant movie, and again, sad. But for me, it was, whoa, off the charts. But I got to tell you, when I was 6 years old, we found out my mom had cancer. She was in and out of hospitals for the next 2 years, and shortly after my 8th birthday, she lost the fight. She died. Folks, I was not watching Susan Sarandon die of cancer on that movie screen. I was watching Sylvia Price, my own mother, die of cancer. And it just overwhelmed me. I all of a sudden became an 8-year-old boy grieving the loss of his mother. And I don't share that for sympathy or anything of the sort. I share that to tell you that every one of us, 99+% of us, have traumatic memories in our past. We can think back to times of great pain and sorrow and loss, times when people didn't treat us the way they should have. They did treat us in ways they shouldn't have. And folks, those memories are still with us. And what I want to point out is that anything can trigger those memories just out of the blue. A sight, a sound, a word, an act, anything can trigger that memory. And all of a sudden, you're not a 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old adult. At that moment, you're a little child grieving whatever it is that painful memory involves. And we got to be aware of that, because so many relationships get into trouble because one or both are reliving a traumatic memory from the past, acting childish. And if the other doesn't realize it, if they each don't realize it, they can say things they shouldn't say, do things they shouldn't do. Children are not equipped to handle adult relationships, plain and simple. Now, I'm always going to grieve the loss of my mom. In fact, I felt it welling up just a moment ago, and it might again. That's okay. That's okay. But I can't let it debilitate me. I can't let that painful memory stop me from moving forward, engaging in my relationships in the here and now as an adult, capable of giving and receiving love, respect, and so forth. So just challenge you. Think back into your life for a while about some painful memories that maybe do creep up on you every now and then and impact you in ways that you're not proud of. And decide in advance that, you know what, those moments, I'm going to announce them. I'm going to let the other person know, hey, you know what, right now, it's not a good time to talk. I'm in a bad spot right now, but I'll get better and we'll resume this conversation later. You'll save yourself so much grief, aggravation, damage to your relationships. Again, we all have those traumatic memories. They don't have to impact our current relationships. Take that to heart, would you please? See you next week.